Hey hon,
What?
what's the difference between anal and oral?
What is the difference between anal and oral?
Oral makes your day, anal makes your whole week.
What's up, yo? This is NekoPastel, and welcome back to the letter.
Hello everyone, I hope you had a good time being scared as it's ready to delve once again into the world of survival horror.
It's only gonna get worse from here on out.
Yay!
We are in the Armageddon mansion, and yeah, we're in the place that started it all.
I swear to God they picked that name deliberately to sound like Armageddon.
Exactly. But where we left off, we just arrived, and we found Marianne McCullough.
We saved dearest Marianne McCullough.
McCullough! McCullough!
We saved Marianne McCullough.
Damn it, McCullough, you're not making any sense.
That was the word I was trying to find. But yeah, and we left her in the kitchen to die.
It's a bit amazing if he just keeps calling her different things. This way, McLaughlin. This way, McLaughlin. This way, McKady.
McGee.
God damn you, McIrish.
Oh my god. And now we're on our way up the stairs to follow crying, which is never good when you're in the Ermengarde household.
Yeah. Never good in general.
Never good in general.
Kind of creepy when someone's crying, you're just like, did I hear someone crying?
There is going to be a pale bitch at the bottom of your shoes. There's new entries though, so it's the 1st of November. So it's after
Hey, my birthday's in
Halloween.
that month.
Yes.
And
So-
also, this is, look, there's no more days.
Oh yeah, we're at the end, yo. So I think, we've got one more chapter after this, so it's not necessarily
Yeah, we
the
have
end.
one more character after this.
Yes.
Heard McGurr.
I think I'm going to let you go ahead and narrate these as you normally do in
I
your
think this is just the
amazing
first time
narrator
we've
voice.
actually made it all the way in November though in a chapter.
To be fair, we've came a long way.
Tuesday, November 1st. The storm had started in earnest when Ashton arrived at the mansion. While trying to find a way in, the detective noticed an eerie silence that had enveloped the place. Something was wrong inside. But before he could figure it out, the sobs of a woman suddenly echoed.
Like these sobs right now, you done extremely well through those cries. I'm surprised you never got distracted like I would.
After his fall, Ashton found himself in an underground passage when he came to. There, he encountered Marianne McCullough, who got trapped in one of the jail cells for several days. The detective managed to free her, and in turn, she helped him find a way into the mansion.
Yes. Mansion. Wow.
Oh, fucking hell, a lot more.
There's another one after this as well.
Before he could go deeper into the wine cellar, Ashton began to hear voices coming from the mirror shards on the floor, mocking him for his failures. Though before he could do anything rash, Marianne stopped him. Belatedly, he realized he had picked up a broken mirror shard.
Oh.
Oh dear. Upon reaching the kitchen, the crying Ashton heard from outside began anew. Unwilling to risk a civilian, the detective handed Marianne his taser and advised her to leave him if he didn't return after 15 minutes. Even if he, himself, was uncertain if he would.
I was going to say, like, Ashton crying? I
That
don't
was
recall
the
this.
way I should have read the whole thing, so I was like, Ashton was crying.
I don't remember this.
Also, really nice work in the taser, guys.
Yeah. Oh, Ashton in action.
Upon reaching the kitchen, the crying Ashton heard from outside began anew. On alert, he continued deeper into the mansion, even if he was uncertain if he would get out of the place alive.
And here we are now. So, shall we move forward?
Indeed.
Oh god, I'm nervous. I tried to shake it off, but the uneasy sensation has already made home at the pit of my stomach. Dread. And it only grows deeper and closer I get to her. The closer I get to her, should I say. The relative emptiness of the place doesn't help either. Neither does the harsh wind batter in the windows, nor the sheets of rain pelting down on the roof. For a fleeting second, I find myself wishing for a scumbag to simply show up. Look right. I don't get too far down into that train of thought. Abruptly, the cry stopped.
God damn it.
Replacing it with,
She won't leave, Mother. I don't want to go with her. Tell her to go away. Mother! Mother, she's here! Help!
That can't be good. Adrenaline overcomes me. Let me try that again. Adrenaline overcomes me in a rush. In no 2 heartbeats, my feet's already moving before any sense can catch up or doubt creeps up to me. My hands ready at the holster as I hastily set off for the far side of the hall. One alarmed footstep after another, while struggling to keep that sense of panic at bay. A door lies ajar at the end, and coming from the floor above,
It's going to hurt me! Help me!
I do not hesitate. Moving in, despite the lack of light, the steep stairs, or the thick layer of dust kicking up every step. I pause only a moment upon reaching the top. Then, without wasting a second, I push the door open. Oh shit!
Shh. Miss Ermengarde, I presume.
Oh, what is going on here?
Ooh.
She sits in the middle of the room, shoulders hunched, shaking. Her hands cover her face as she weeps, oblivious to my presence. It's as if she's heard neither my footsteps nor the soft creaking of the door, continuing, undisturbed, like I'm standing in a time far removed from her. She doesn't even flinch when I call out to her.
Hey, are you alright?
Don't call out to Charlotte. You don't do that.
Mother! I've done it, Mother. Take me with you, please.
Wales in the Night did that achievement say?
I can still hear her. She's here. Help me! Help me, please!
Belatedly, I notice the blood on her hands. If it's the same one drenching the whole attic, I'd rather not know. How the whole room has ended up like this is the least of my problems at this moment. Even the single human body doesn't have this much blood. So, bodies? The thought sends an unpleasant twinge in my stomach. Does Wright even know about this? He's bad news, alright. But this is beneath him. He'll definitely balk at first sight of this. Anyone will. Yet the woman lingers here, unmoved by the sight, letting her sobs fill the room, repeating the words over and over again like a prayer of salvation. To whom? The mess of parchment she's left on the floor. Just what the hell is happening?
Hey, lady, are you?
The rest of that question never makes it out. I don't even see it coming. Should have been more aware and on guard, really. But there's little I can do when a well-placed blow to the back of my knees makes me stumble. Oh! The momentum alone sends me reeling forward. It barely even registers in my head that that woman's gone and the room's as normal as it can be. Not above the pain suddenly shooting up my side when I hit the floor. I don't even get the chance to get my bearings back when a hard enough blow to the stomach causes me to buckle down and land heavily on my knees. Gasping, I fumble wildly for my gun, although before I'm able to turn, level it, and shoot, a hand grabs my wrist and twists it. Hard. A grasp. A grunt. A cry of pain slips past my mouth. The gun falls to the floor with a thunk. As soon as it lands, a foot kicks it out of my reach and slides it uselessly under the bed. Agony suddenly explodes in my chin, jerking loose a sharp cry of pain, and stars fill the edges of my vision. A brief moment of regret hits me for leaving my taser with McCullough when a piece of cloth closes around my neck. Without warning, an attacker pulls. Tight. I'm left gasping, choking and clawing for air, blindly reaching behind me as I still tried to fight him off and loosen the pressure on my neck. Except any sort of movement only causes him to pull it taut.
My, so many rats scurrying about in this mansion lately.
I wonder who that voice belongs to. Wright's butler. Shit.
Tell me, what did you do with the madam?
I have no idea what he's talking about. Did something happen to Hannah Wright?
Let go, you asshole.
Now, Dummkopf, you're in no position to be rude. Last time I checked, I'm not the one breaking into other people's homes. Now answer my question. What did you do with the madam?
He's got moves. Like, where does a butler learn this shit? He's clearly trained. The pain rings and resonates through my already sore body. Still, I managed to ride it out and spit Minitus?
Or mutinous.
Mutinous. I'm putting that definition up because that is a really strange word to me, and you're here to learn on TheNekoPastel as always.
Educational.
Let's continue.
You.
That's not going to save you. That's only going to make him angrier.
That dirty mouth babbling and you're getting a knife in the kidney.
See what I mean? You don't do that.
I assure you, it will be more painful than this.
He really doesn't need to threaten me by now. It's all too much to bear at this point. My lungs feel like they're burning with the lack of air. Dark spots begin to fill the edges of my vision. Ever so slowly, the world around me dims. My consciousness rapidly slips away from me, and without meaning to...
Get away from him!
Hearing that voice is as if I'd been doused with a bucket full of ice, cold water, too familiar. The ice bucket challenge. And more importantly, it shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be hearing it here. She shouldn't be here. Immediately, my eyes snap open. Oh, look at her. She's got a rolling pin in hand and everything. She's ready. And right there, right on the attic's doorway, stands Isabella, of all people. A rolling pin in one hand and a standard issue police taser in the other. My taser. She must have borrowed it from McCullough. Else could she have got... I'm trying again. Where else could she have gotten one? I doubt she's ever used one even. Hell, the way she holds it right now, this guy can easily disarm her in one hit. But there's something in her. In her eyes. Although there's a look of fear in them, and her hand shakes, she keeps the weapon trained and pointed at Scumbag's lackey. Untrained or not, she does not plan to leave here without pulling a fight, it seems. Admirable, really, but it's just not something we need right now.
As you're being strangled to death, you could
Exactly.
be a bit more grateful.
Like, you need this. You need this. I need her to be away from here. I need her safe. But the chances of that happening grow slim when every laughter that slips from him.
Oh, this is just getting better and better. The Bratwurst won't be pleased with the number of bodies we have to dispose of today, you know. Tell me, how many of you are there? So I can prepare the proper number of bags.
What the fuck?
Oh.
Damn it. What the fuck is going on? Why is she here in the first place? Did she follow after me? Who else came with her? Zach? Rebecca? Yep, story's updating. They're here! I know it. Are they all here? Panic surges within me. She knows how bad the situation is. But did she really have to run in here and expose herself like that?
The thing is, well, probably because I think the story's updating because probably like, well, everyone's alive so far.
Yeah.
So,
I have a feeling they're all here.
Like, because if Isabella was dead, you would just be getting this fuck strangled out you know.
Oh, aye, to be fair. Does she even know how to use a taser? For fuck's sake. More than worrying for my life, it's her I'm concerned about.
I mean, they come with a laser sight.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just pointing.
Does this one though? I don't see a laser sight.
That wee bit there.
Oh.
When you press the... I think it's when you... I've not used one, I'm just...
Yeah, you hold in a certain bit so
Aye.
the light comes up and then you push further and then the taser flies. Getting strangled, dying by choking isn't part of the plan. But her following me here isn't either. This is why I prefer to do things alone. This is why I'd rather be the only one to take the consequences. I don't even want to think about what this bastard might do to her after he's done with me. Though my voice comes off nearly a croak. I try to tell her as much. She has to leave. Stay far away from here and these people.
Don't! Damn it, Isabella! Get out of here!
Another bout of pain erupts in my side, cutting off my words. A cry of agony bursts from my mouth. I can taste blood in my tongue as I heave, attempting to get in as much air despite the towel still coiled around my neck.
Ash?
You're going to lose air quickly that way, Dummkopf. Better keep it shut.
Get out! 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 Belle!
Don't be stupid! I'm not leaving you here!
He laughs. Too cruel. Too unforgiving. The way each note beats against my ears, in spite of the warmth in them, send chill down my spine. There's a man whose hands have already been stained with blood before. No kidding. Like, who even is Johans? Because I want to know. He won't hesitate.
I'd follow his advice if I were you, little girl. What could you possibly do with a toy? Just hand it over and be on your way. It'll probably be too difficult for a little girl like you to use.
There's a moment of silence. Fuck, I can barely keep my eyes open. But in the next second though, I still don't exactly understand what's happening. Isabella shouts. Not a cry of pain. Late bloomer.
Oh,
Late bloomer.
late bloomer.
Do you know what that means? And how I know that, don't ask! Don't ask! But I know what late bloomer means! Not a yell of panic, but one that's resolute. Firm. Perhaps in a tone that leaks fiercer than any I've heard from her before.
Try me! Ashton, duck!
I do. More out of instinct and desire to survive, closing my eyes before my mind can fully process what's going on.
Oh.
It all happens in a blur. The telltale sound of a taser being discharged resounds through the room. The air crackles. Something whizzes by, almost too close to my ear, followed by the thud of something blunt connecting solidly with another object. The next thing I know, the till strangling me has started to loosen. I collapse on the floor, dazed and gasping for air. From my prep-row, through the haze of blood rushing and sound slowly filtering back, the butler buckles. He spasms once. Then without much fuss, he falls face first beside me, knocked unconscious by 50,000 volts of electricity and a fucking rolling pin. He'll be out for a while. I have no idea whether I should laugh or cry at that.
Man, that is the bit. Like, as you're getting shocked, just. Like a big fuck off rolling pin.
She's mad. It's her time to be mad, and you know what? I'm living for it. Somewhere in front of me, my oxygen-deprived brain vaguely registers Isabella's form. She slumps on the floor, also breathing heavily. Right next to her trembling hands, both the taser and the rolling pin lie useless and forgotten, while the mood of the room eases. A long, gradual process of the tension lifting. For countless seconds we remain quiet, with only our short gasps and sighs to fill the silence, allowing the adrenaline ebb away and both of our breathing to slow. Not a true repose by any means, but simply a brief respite. There's still the curse. We're still inside the mansion, in imminent danger. We still have no idea how to fix this. Outside, the rain seems to only intensify. Lightning flashes fleetingly somewhere, white and piercing, and the sky rumbles. No rest for the wicked. I stir first, once recovered, having regained some semblance of sense and strength. Breathing still hurts, but it's bearable, as is moving. Although every small motion causes a wince, there will be bruising tomorrow. I can manage. Retrieving my gun from under the bed is easy, but only with some effort I am able to drag an unconscious man to the far end of the room, snapping one end of a handcuff on his wrists while fastening the other on the bed frame. That should keep him restrained for a few hours in case he wakes up prematurely. All through this, Isabella stays quiet. In fact, she hasn't even moved since. Her hands still shake, and taking in long draws of breath while she stares vacantly in front of her, almost as if she's in shock. Perhaps she isn't even expecting any result, spurred only by some kind of desperation. Now it's sinking in. Unfortunately, we need to get moving. We don't have the time to wait for everything to register in our heads. Kneeling in front of her, I give her a light shake.
Belle, we need to go. We can't stay here.
Slowly she turns, staring at me with wide eyes. Worry flickers briefly in them, along with something ineffable. Then without warning, she lifts a hand and slaps me right across the face. Oh, fucking hell, I felt that. The sound of it cracks the air, shattering the silence like fragile glass breaking. Despite the familiar rumble of thunder outside, it manages to ring louder above the storm. I don't even know what hit me until my head has already snapped back and my cheek stings with her anger. And it is anger. In spite of the stillness and the lack of words afterwards. Not fuming though, never fuming, but the kind that burns lightly and soundlessly. A frustration instead of a seething rage. One that ebbs just as quickly as it flows, and once the tide subsides, there's only a gleam in her eyes, warm, steadfast, and unflinching. Quietly, I brace myself for the truth underneath that gaze. It slips from her, and softly, nearly fading under the sound of the rain still falling fast, if not for the weight of each of her words.
What is wrong with you?
Belle.
If Zach didn't slip up, no one would have known where you went.
Belle, one person knowing is enough. Any more than that, and...
You almost died! He could have suffocated you right then and there, and you could have died.
I told Zach to give me 4 hours. That would have been enough time to...
It would have been too late! And by the time anyone ever finds out, you're already fertilizer!
She trails off, drags one... Let me try that again. She trails off, drags one indrawn breath after another. A brief lull as her frustration finally gives, dissolves into something more pensive and somber. Her shoulders droop, and through her voice rises hoarse and weary. In her next words, there are only certainty.
You count too, you know. When I said, that night when I told you I don't want to lose anyone anymore, that includes you. Alive! We're still here, Ash. You have us.
And once their meaningful fall, roar. It is not with force of a dam breaking or raging a storm. I read that weird, I'm sorry. But with the gentle, steady warmth of a hearth burning, an ember easing slowly, lightly, rising and giving until all that's left is truth and understanding. Not alone. Never alone. It lingers, even as we both drift back into silence and her words take root, because in the gratitude that swells after is another warmth blooming, pleasant, welcoming, like finding home, like finding ourselves in the haze. A squall is left, creating something fragile, yet immutable in both of us. It's in her eyes, and the way she holds my gaze, unwavering, in the way she carries herself despite sitting amidst the place she fears, and the way she keeps herself from trembling and falling apart, because fear's inconsequential when people she cares about are at risk. A change. She realises that now, holds on to it. another little thing, another small thing from her, that may go unnoticed and pass by quietly, but will eventually amount to a lot of things. Tiny gestures that mean nothing at first, but began to matter to me one day until... oh. Despite myself, a small smile slips from my lips as the same warmth from earlier unfurrows in my chest. Unhurried, familiar, and bright from all these years I've carried it, and I've never given the words for it.
Stop smiling like that, Ashton! I'm not done scolding you!
But this time, they come easy.
I heard all of it. Don't worry.
Are you really okay? That guy hit you a little too hard on the head. Here, let me...
I reach up just as she extends a hand forward towards my face, catching her wrist in a light grip, drawing it closer and folding her hand in between mine. Although her expression doesn't shift into mild confusion, she does not pull away like I'm expecting. She simply stares at me, searching for her to allow a gesture from me that is perhaps too close. It tells a lot how far things have already shifted in the past few years. Cradled in mine, her hand still trembles. Most of the tremors have already subsided by now, though I doubt it'll fade away this soon. Even as I trace the lines of her palm, in what I hope is a comforting gesture.
I'm sorry, Belle.
For what? Is this about what happened tonight? You can apologize later, when...
No, well, this too, but it's not just about this. It's for a lot of things. For calling you clumsy, and careless, and a scatterbrain.
You sure this isn't a concussion?
You would think that, wouldn't you?
You'd make a terrific Isabella, actually.
Well, you don't usually apologize.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry about that too.
Well, he just
For all
can't
the
stop,
times
can
I
he?
teased you
Nope.
and made you cry.
Unexpectedly, her fingers tighten around mine, our hands falling between us as something tender shifts in the
Is
air.
it just me or am I just sitting here like, with my hands on my face being like, yes?
I'm waiting for this to happen. Another exhale, another drawn breath eases out of me, filled with every hesitation and uncertainties. But when I finally choose to break silence, it's only when I know that what will slip past my mouth is that one truth I will hold against the world.
But for all those callous words, despite all those, there's nothing I don't love about you. In fact, those things, I love those. And everything. Everything that's you.
For a long moment, she offers no response. Her grip on my hands merely tightens.
And she breaks my hand.
Baka! Although my heart's pounding hard against my ears, I take a chance to look up. Slightly leaning away and giving her a cautious glance, more than steady to hear her rejection. And it is one, despite the smile on her face. If it can even be called one, of course. There's a pained aspect to it and I can hardly name. Regardless of what it means to her, or what she intends to convey with it, the sight of it alone makes me regret ever mentioning anything. It's almost as if she's forcing herself to push out the next words in her mouth for the sake of not hurting me. Not that I won't be able to take it, but these feelings will only put a heavier burden on her. I'd rather not have anything said at all. As expected, with one last squeeze at the hand cradling hers, she pulls her hand away from mine. When she speaks though, there's a stark refusal to meet my eyes. Not that I hold it against her. The situation's already awkward as it is.
Ash...
She pauses, biting her lower lip. A small frown forms between her eyebrows, while she struggles to find the right phrases to string together.
Ashton, I'm really sorry.
Oh no! Damn it! Oh.
No.
Every choice counts in this game, and we just didn't pick the right choices. Shit.
Oh, no, it's cool. I was already expecting that. Kind of. But you don't have to...
No, I mean, I can't. I can't afford to think of anything other than helping my family. Especially now that Papa's gone.
Not right now.
They're going to need me more than ever, Ash. I'm sorry. I really can't.
Which is, you know, it's understandable.
Yeah.
And you know what, it's really admirable that she wants to help her family.
Not right now.
I've always known it would lead to this. To some extent. Her family will always come first. How am I to take that from her? It hurts, of course, but the pain eases, knowing that in spite of circumstances, her heart will always be in the right place. That she's still the same woman I've fallen in love with.
It's alright, Belle. Don't apologize. If it still matters, that's actually what I love about you. Of course, not that I'm expecting anything by telling you that, but you get the point. Yeah.
Thanks, Ash. I mean, thank you for loving me. Even after everything.
Her response is a smile, and a soft laughter, perhaps the sweetest I've seen and heard from her. Just from it, I know nothing will change despite her answer, and any lingering feelings that will come from this.
I'm still holding out hope.
Aye, fingers crossed. And there will be. Lingering feelings, that is. With the way she barged into our lives 5 years ago, it'll probably be enough to leave a terrible impression on anyone. But that's also precisely it. It's people like her that you don't easily forget. It's them that gradually worms their way into a person's life until the very thought of losing them becomes unbearable. As it is, I'm already content simply staying by her. No grand expectations or hopes attached. Just the banter, the small smiles, and the quiet little moments that roar. I love her, but that also isn't all there is to us.
I know I caused you all kinds of trouble these past few years.
Hey, whoever told you I'm doing this for free? After we're done with this curse thing, you're gonna owe me a year's supply of ice cream.
Yeah, we'll see.
Another laughter, this time from both of us. Then she hits my arm with a light punch. sends him flying out of the mansion. Familiar, warm, bright and hopeful, much like everything about her. And it is strength enough to keep me going as I lead us both out. Power still hasn't come back when we make our way downstairs. Tricky, considering the stairs to the attic are a bit old. One misstep and anyone might end up slipping and falling. You're lucky if that's all that will happen to you.
Isabella.
With the stairs this steep, a broken neck is likely to outcome. Thankfully, Isabella's here to guide me through the darkness. She knows this place better than anyone after all, in spite of all the misfortunes it has brought to us.
Careful, the floorboards over there aren't very sturdy.
Right on cue, the same board I'm stepping on creaks and suddenly breaks, the pieces falling somewhere with a dull thunk.
Oh shit. Scumbag wouldn't be too happy about that. Ow, my foot.
See? I told you so. You never listen to me.
They renovated the whole mansion and they can't even replace one tiny part of the house.
Why don't you file a complaint to BRC then? I'm sure they'd be thrilled to hear it. You know it was such a rushed job.
Outside, the winds have intensified. Even from here, I can hear the gusts battering the window in the attic. It makes you wonder why, up until now, the only person we've encountered from this house is the butler. Although, to some degree, that makes sense. He is in charge of running the place. Where are the other servants, though? In this storm, wouldn't anyone want to stay inside? A likely assumption is they're all asleep.
What about the security guys? You could just stand outside in the darkness and in the
Aye,
rain.
being blown away in the gust of wind. The route I've taken doesn't really pass by the rooms. I got a weird shooting pain in my shoulder. What is going on? Hold on. The route I've taken doesn't really pass by the rooms. They've lately assigned as the servants' quarters. However, they're also not heightened. However, they have also heightened security. I brushed it off earlier, thinking they'll be posted a lot closer to where the master's rooms are, but the second floor is devoid of anyone as well. As if every inhabitant of this place has suddenly disappeared overnight. More importantly, there's that scumbag. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. The fact that we're here right in the fucking middle of it makes all of this more queasy. And the feeling only escalates once we reach the landing in Isabella's, and Isabella swings the door open. She pauses abruptly, right in the doorway, that I almost run into her. A look of confusion's in her as she looks wildly around the place, wordlessly taking in her surroundings. I can't speak proper English today, I don't know what is up.
I know the feeling.
With each turn and shift of her eyes, her shoulder only grows tenser, and a look of apprehension slowly dawns on her.
Isabella, what are you...
We aren't supposed to be here.
But no shit. Sure enough, when I look up, we're standing right in the kitchen. Pots, pans and all. Oh, hello you two. Okay, they're here. In one corner, Zach and Rebecca watch as utmost surprised to see us. McCullough also with them, of course. She didn't listen to me even after I already exceeded the 15 minutes we agreed on. Although colour and strength seems to have returned to her, enough to be able to stand unassisted. The empty plate in the corner appears to have played a part in that. Oh, so they've been eaten. Good news, I guess. As for the other two, however, relieved as I am that they had the sense to wait and not venture deeper into the mansion, I can't keep but rolling my eyes at both of them.
Zach, I said 4 hours.
I know, but Isabella asked and... Come on, bro, you know I ain't a very good liar.
And it didn't even occur to you to stop her?
We all tried, all right? She was out the door before we could say anything.
And how did you guys even get in here?
All three of them exchange a look. One that I absolutely don't like. In the end, it's Isabella who speaks up, albeit with a bit of hesitation.
We heard someone scream, Ash. It led us here.
Without warning, the door behind us slams shut.
We need to get out of here.
Oh god! Screw right. I need to get those people out of here. Lucky we're in the kitchen and we have two ways out. The back door and the cellar offers. Except the hatch won't budge when I pull it, and neither does the back door. As if something has locked it firmly on the other side. Zach also gives it a few tries, but even with the big guy's strength it won't open. There's a long bout of silence in which we all simply look at each other, likely sharing the same thoughts. We're trapped. Oh god. Something or someone has intentionally led us here. Fuck. In that same moment, once realization dawns in, something shifts again. Blood. In every nook and cranny, over every surface and in every inch of the floor. This time, unlike the first one I've seen, it remains, and gradually the whole room begins to reek of that familiar metallic scent. Sharp, suffocating. Oh god. Around us, every object, including the cupboards, have started to rattle as well.
Not the cupboards, dear God.
It's like Paranormal Activity. The sounds from outside, foreboding rumble of thunder, and even the howling winds have begun to fade away, replaced by whispers, shouts, and cries of pain. Though inaudible, each beat and note bombards every crevice of my head with vague images and sounds. There's no time to make sense of everything, however. I'm already shouting, fueled purely by adrenaline, barking orders and making a break for the door that leads to the next room, the dining. It should take us straight to the foyer, where the main door is.
Move! Run!
Right in front of us, the mansion has started to change, and we're in the thick of it. However, instead of the dining room, it's supposed to open to...
Oh.
The bedroom welcomes us instead.
What is this, a fucking mirror world?
Oh god. An image that lasts only for a second before blood begins to seep into the room. Oh, nasty. Okay. Filtering into the walls, trickling from every nook and cranny. Everywhere, furniture shakes and every beam rattles. Before we can even step back from the horror gradually unfolding in front of us, the door slams shut.
God damn it!
A loud thud bringing a sense of dread and chill creeping up in each of us. Along with it is another realization. The whole place is reordering itself. And with the door closed tight behind us, showing no signs of budging, even through sheer force, there's no choice but to go forward and hope to all gods that it will lead us to an exit.
Is that not an open balcony? It was.
I think that was an open balcony, aye. Until then, running is the only thing we can do. Spurred in nothing but fear and the sense of desperation to live.
It's useless, Ashton Frey.
Oh, the voices again. But with each room we pass... Let me try that again. But with each room we pass, it only becomes apparent that the house has no intention of letting us leave. It lured all of us here, and we've fallen for it. Now it's playing a little game with us, a sordid form of amusement. For whom? Their laughter's the only thing we can hear. Ooh. With every hall we cross, and the door we slide open, the hope of finding an exit merely dwindles. The gun at my hip, useless here. The gun at my hip is useless here. I'm useless here. Some fucking genius I am. Some fucking person to trust I am. All of those, they mean nothing in the face of the unknown.
You finally figured it out. Huh, Ashton Frey. Just give it up. All of them will eventually die because of you.
And you are going to die alone.
Go away.
Shut your fucking mouth.
You know it's true, though.
All of it.
It's why all you can do is tell us to shut up. You don't want to hear a single word, because you're already aware of it.
You can't even admit it to yourself. Who's the coward now?
But no matter how hard you try, you're not gonna be able to save anyone.
The more gruesome the place turns, the bleaker our chances simply get. Oh god. The wails and screams fill our ears as we pass by. Words from a time and people long gone, laced with nothing but pure agony, calling out, reaching out to us. Their voices almost too real, as if we're not the only ones trapped here. That there are others begging for release from this wretched place. Or maybe it's all just a show, a taste of what we will eventually be. Souls forever held captive in a never-ending nightmare.
Mother, I've done it, Mother. Take me with you, please. I'm still here. She's here. Help me! Help me, please!
This is what the curse is. What it all means for all of us. That the letter is not a morbid cry for help, but an invitation. A beckoning for unsuspecting souls to be dragged into a place of horrors, to be put under the centuries and centuries of torment and agony. Suddenly, dying a painful death seems preferable, enticing, than ending up here, living a tortured existence. Or perhaps, it's all the same. Still, hope worms its way into me, not a usual thing for someone like me. But after going through the countless doors and corridors, every little sign of hope I'm willing to cling to. As long as it'll get us out of here. We're both back in the dining room again. How long have we been running? How long since we've left the kitchen? At some point, I've lost track of time. With the windows barred tight and the sounds lifting in the air, nothing but shouts and shrieks, it's impossible to tell. Not that it matters when an end is in sight. Shelves and furnishing bar the door, each stained with blood and gore. That the situation isn't as desperate as it is, I'll find a different way out. but there is still a gap left in the topmost part of a person to go through, as long as you use the shelves to climb.
It's an exit, all right.
From here, I can spy the familiar walls of the foyer. Relief. Only relief washes over me. Although my legs have been strained taut by all that running, and every bone and muscle in my body ache, there's only an easing. A sense of tension, reliving energy. Let me try that again. A sense of tension, relieving, while energy back flows through me again at the sight of an end. No sooner I'm leading us out of it. Zach helps McCulloch first, assisting her in through the gap before giving a hand to both Rebecca and Isabella. The moment the ladies are in, I nod for him to go through.
Go ahead. I'll watch your back.
Surprisingly, he does that without any protests. Not that there's any need to. Sometime after entering the room, the whole place is calmed down. No wails, no whispers, just a silence too deafening. But I'm not letting my guard down until everyone's on the other side of this nightmare, safe. For all I know, this may just be a calm before another storm.
I don't doubt it.
Nah. Without further incident, however, Zach makes it to the other side and I'm following after him. However odd this hush is, I turn my... Oh, let me try that again, because the thing showed up at the bottom there. However odd this hush is, I turn my back from it and climb up. It's a tight fit, but I manage to squeeze in myself. The unease remains though. Maybe it's the adrenaline still coursing through me, or how easy everything has been after living through that nightmare, fleeting as it is. But for some reason, something's still nagging at me. Call it a detective's instinct for training or whatnot. I have a feeling something's going to happen. It catches unprepared. Unconsciously, before dropping down the better side of this dream, my hand shifts for the gun at my hip. Instinct has never failed me before. My feet haven't landed firmly on the floor when...
Had I known there would be a party in my own home tonight, I would have opened a bloody bottle or two.
Ah, hello!
Took your sweet ass time getting here.
You were right.
People these days, in my own home. Can you believe it?
It was him.
I feel so left out.
A chill seeps into every vein in my body. All of a sudden, every ache, every pain returns to me tenfold and my knees threaten to buckle at the sound of his voice. Though it appears friendly, I know it's anything but. One does not spend investigating a man like him for over a year and holding a grudge against him for more without knowing everything about him. His quirks, his habits, I'm familiar with all of them. And right now, Luke fucking Wright is beyond pissed. Shifting my gaze upwards is nearly too painful knowing the danger. Not to me, but to those who have been lured in here by the curse. Oh, he's holding them gunpoint, this isn't good! The handgun catches my eyes first, next to that smarmy smile on his face, while he holds McCulloch, Zach, Rebecca and Isabella at gunpoint. It's sight enough to lodge a painful thorn up my throat. I've been too complacent. Too focused on other things that I've completely set aside for the fact that Scumbag will not be too pleased to see us here without knowing our reasons. But even with those good intentions, curses and ghostly apparitions aside, we're still trespassing on his home. The question is, if he's even aware of this whole of his household has somehow disappeared and he might be the only one here. Likely not. Fuck. Even with people he knows amongst the crowd, there's a significant effort in him not to simply shoot everyone in sight.
And really, Daisy, even you, what would Kylie say?
Luke, this isn't what you're thinking. You have to listen to us. There's something going on here.
Well, obviously, why else would people be trespassing in my home? What about little Lily over there, then? What's your excuse? Checking back if your clients are doing okay? Is that it? Is this what this is?
We're doing good, by the way.
Sir,
Thank you.
please.
Oh, please, what?
Becca's right, sir. We need to get out of this place. You need to leave.
Tut, not a good enough excuse, darling. You people are the ones who need to get out of my sight. Don't worry, I might consider pressing lighter charges for the woman. Can't say the same for the rest of you. But really now, I swear the people of this city need to be taught the meaning of privacy. This is how you want to start the week. Why don't we just go with a bloody massacre if we want to surprise people in their homes, huh?
Casually, he waves the handgun at them as if it's just a mere toy, and his words are no threat. The safety's off on his, nothing stopping him from pushing through with his words. Call me paranoid, but at the slight gesture, I draw my own and level with him. I can't. Let me try that again. Call me paranoid, but the slight gesture, I draw my own and level it at him, finger on the trigger and ready to release the safety catch in case things go south. Oh, here we go. He is quick to train his own on me. Though, and just like that, we're at a standstill.
Now, Feathers, manners. You're in no position to be pointing that gun at people.
Why don't you put yours down first, and then we'll talk about manners.
Oh, he talks back. The gall! You know, your kind pisses me off so much.
Shooting him right now will be so worth it, with the way he stares at me like I'm a damn pest. But this isn't what I've come here for. I'm not a murderer. As much as I loathe him, I'm not the kind who will kill people in cold blood for my own gain or amusement. The law will bring him what he deserves one of these days. At the moment, however, we're all in the same boat with this curse, and he needs to understand that. The longer we stand here, the more time we're wasting and losing. Something we don't have much of. But how can I convince him? This scum is so full of himself, prefers to hear the sounds of his own voice more than those of the people around him, no matter how much sense they make. Probably the only way I can make him listen is if I beg. No way in hell that's happening. Maybe I should eliminate the immediate danger first and disarm him. Here we go.
What a terrible choice to make!
We have a choice! So, what should we do?
Well, there's the thing, because there's the disarm option, but the fact is your safety zone and his isn't, so literally like a single twitch and he might just pop you square in the head. But if you beg him to listen, that's the easiest thing to do. Is like, because he has a massive ego, I think begging him to listen, you'll be stroking his ego enough to like keep him complacent enough not to shoot anybody. Whereas I think disarming him could work. I would say even if you want to try disarming him, see. Kick that bitch.
Should we go for disarming first?
Oh, have you saved it?
I did save it.
I just want to make
so
sure.
we can go back.
Sorry about this. I really don't have time.
Because I think the better option would be to like beg, just to keep on his good side enough to calm him down.
We'll go for that if things go wrong.
Because I think this is just to. I mean, we like to show some choice. Not all of them, of course.
Of course. I don't think twice. Within the span of a heartbeat, I'm moving and pulling on the trigger. Oh shit! It worked. Okay, 2 shots in quick succession echo across the whole foyer, and both hit their mark true.
2 shots.
2 shots. Shit. Wright recoils with a sharp cry of pain. His pistol falls useless on the floor with a loud clank, followed by drops of blood from his bleeding wrist.
Why, you insolent!
He's down in 2 successive steps when I tackle him down to the floor, pinning him hard with my arm. Oh! Although before I can knock him out with a solid right hook, an agonised wail bursts through the tense air, loud enough to echo along the dark, empty halls of the mansion. Piercing enough for every occupant in the foyer to cover their ears and close their eyes. Then all at once, there are images. However, there's no time to make sense of all of it. Amidst the discord and the noise, something whizzes past by. Too close, too swift. A brief, keen blur that barely registers in my eyes, like an arrow quickly finding its mark and heading straight for... Oh, time slows to a stop. In one moment of clarity, My body moves on its own, heart pounding hard against my ears, blood rushing through every vein. Spurred only by adrenaline and a desperate bid to reach her crouched, unsuspecting form, and I don't even get to yell for her a second time. I don't even get to call her name.
Ashton!
An acute pain burst through my chest in the next instant. All of a sudden, everything around me feels too sharp. Every edge, every point. Even the act of drawing a deep breath alone stings and burns my lungs, while an intense ache slowly spreads throughout my whole body. Numb. I feel numb. A hand comes away, bleeding, shaking, while I can only let out a wet, ragged laugh. Soon, without warning, I'm going down on my knees and the whole world is pitching sideways. An arm, warm and welcoming, is on me the second I stumble back, catching my fall. Isabella has always been warm, after all.
Ash!
Her hands are shaking, her lips are quivering, while she looks at me with wide, fearful eyes. Tears have started to form at their corners, threatening to spill at any moment. And a pang of regret hits me at the sight of it.
Ashton!
Even for the last time, I can't even give her a reason to smile.
Hey, you're crying again. Don't give me that look. Told you. Doesn't suit you.
Cautiously, despite the stabbing ache shooting up in every movement, I reach a trembling hand up to wipe them away. Crying has never looked good in her, after all. My arm never makes it far, however. Midway, she meets my hand, catching it in a light grip, as if she's all too afraid I might break. Though I already am. Just slowly. The pain is easing. Everything's going cold.
Shut up, Ash! Don't move, alright? Stop talking! We'll get you a doctor! Someone! Just stay put! Just stay put, okay? You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
I'd like to agree with her. Reassure her. But I've gone through a lot. Survived a lot of shit. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that I'm done for. Whatever hit me, a hold to the chest is fatal enough. I don't think I'm going to bounce back from this. I'm dying.
I'm sorry.
I should be afraid in this moment. Yet I'm not. No fear. No dread. Just an acceptance. And a deep regret as she appears before us, her voice echoing throughout the foyer. At the top of the staircase, Hannah Wright stands there, pale as death, an expression eerily calm. I can't help but think there's something wrong. My gaze darts around, wary of her, but soon enough, I realise what's wrong when she speaks. She's wrong.
I told you, didn't I? Everything you're doing is useless, Ashton Frey. And now, you're dying. Meddlesome fool.
Hannah?
Oh, Luke, darling, my love. What do you think you're doing out here this late?
Outside, another streak of lightning flashes, and a clap of thunder ripples across the sky. Here, there's only a whimpered sigh, a fading breath, and a lone heart that beats hard one last time. She got one thing wrong, though. I did not die alone.
Oh, memory fragment.
About time. I don't know what is going on here, but it looks like Lady Charlotte's making a scene. Can we just, like...
look at her! She killed them all! Oh, I'm so innocent! Oh, she's so evil!
Oh, God. Oh, well. Yeah, so that's us unlocked that. And that's us made it to the end of the chapter.
Fuck on all that, though.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do, before we start the Luke chapter, I want to go ahead and do a better thing. I want to go back and load this shit.
I'm just saying, we did want to say to see what happened. Because, like I said, we want to stroke his ego. We don't want to... Nobody wants a fucking... Gotta say, though, Hannah should apply for the fucking Olympics, because my god, that javelin throw.
That... Was it her that flung it?
I mean, she's the only person I could think.
It's quite funny to look at, but fuck. It's because we hurt our prince.
We should be like...
And when you hurt a Yandere's prince, the
You die.
The Yandere strength and stamina kicks in, and yeah,
you get javelined.
You get javelined. So let's beg him to listen this time around. My life is not the only one at risk here, however. There's Zach, there's Rebecca, there's Isabella, McCullough's here as well. And all unknowing victims to this fucking curse. I'm in no position to pick who to save and who I should simply let die. I suppose my pride can take a few hits, and I should set aside my beef with this asshole. Taking a deep breath, slowly I lower my pistol. Though still on the edge, and at ready, in case he does something, I do my best to assume a less aggressive stance.
Listen, right, I need you to...
Swallow your pride. Achievement unlocked. We've got a lot of achievements over the course of these few episodes, actually.
You broke into my house, and somehow, you expect me to listen like a good little boy. Are you a bit touched in the head, Feathers? I'm not the one breaking laws here.
Look here, fucker. If I wanted you dead, I could have done it so many times already. In fact, I can easily shoot you down right here.
The hell happened to begging him to listen, Ash? Calm the hell down. Swallow your fucking pride.
We're getting a bit aggressive.
And you won't be able to do a damn thing, even with that gun.
Suddenly, there's the laugh we all know and love. Suddenly he laughs, almost howling in fact, like I've just told him the best joke he's heard all his life. The only thing missing from him is to keel over and start rolling around on the floor. All the while I do my best not to sock him with the sorry end of my pistol.
You have guts, Feathers. You have guts. Did you hear what you just told me? You've just threatened me inside my own house. My own home. You know what I'm thinking right now? In another lifetime, we would have probably gotten along well.
He's right on that, at least. I might have ended up like him. If I didn't have Professor Andrew, Rebecca, Zach, or Isabella. One mistake and it would have been too late for me. With his laughter rings all of those possibilities I could have lived, but have never been given the choice. All because I have other people with me, people who care. A sobering realization, but not so much when suddenly his chuckling stops. In 2 heartbeats, he marches towards me, grabs my collar and aims his gun right in my head.
Ashton! Luke, no!
Hey, now you two, I'm sure we can all talk about this first.
At this distance, a slight flick of that and a finger on the trigger would be able to do more than kill me.
What is it that you people really want with me? This is the 2nd time this week, and I'm really getting weary of this little game. Did the NCA send you to apprehend me, or has somebody paid you off to kill me? Which one is it, Feathers? Mind you, my arm's getting tired. Better answer quick if you don't want to beat the business end of this gun.
I keep my eyes trained on him, in spite of the huge threat he poses right now, because if there's anything people like him, like us, prefer, it's honesty. I don't give that impression without keeping a solid eye contact.
I'm not with NCA. I'm just here to help. There's something else in this house, and we're all in danger. You have to believe me, right? You need to let us go. You need to get out of here before it's too late. If you want to keep your sorry ass alive, you'll listen to people with more brain cells than you.
Swallow pride.
Swallow pride.
Are you insolent?
His finger moves, but I'm prepared, my hand ready to reach up. disarm him and knock him out. If I have to drag him out of this place unconscious to keep him from suffering the fates of every other person who has died from this curse, so be it. However, before either of us can fire a shot or tackle the other to the ground, another voice echoes throughout the foyer. A small little thing compared to the storm raging outside. It rings above it, nevertheless, causing all of us to stop and turn. It's the bitch. Are we going to save Hannah? Like, what is going on? At the top of the staircase, Hannah Wright stands there, pale as death, an expression eerily calm. I can't help but think there's something wrong. My gaze darts around, wary of her, but soon enough I realise what's wrong when she speaks. She's wrong.
Oh, Luke, darling, my love. What do you think you're doing out here this late?
Outside, another streak of lightning flashes, and a clap of thunder ripples across the sky. As if this whole thing can't get any more foobar than it already is. And that's it.
Very cliffhanger, eh?
That's Ashton's chapter. We've completed it.
Oh.
Oh wow. Okay, this is amazing.
That was a crazy ass long chat. Wait, is Luke's chapter even longer? Is it?
We can have a quick look here, because we do have the, what is it? Branching tree.
The branching tree.
Let's see what's going on here. It's long. It's very fucking long.
Yep, is that longer than Ashton's?
Well, in all honesty, I think it's still going.
Well, for that wee red dot is, we're not even halfway done with it yet.
Well, I guess this really just depends on the choices that we've made in the other chapters, so maybe it really isn't as long as we think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because look, there's just a continuous line going up here, so quite possibly. I love how Rebecca's theme is playing in the background, but this is long. I'm not looking at the rest of that. Nay fucking way. But yeah, I definitely think this will be a good place to end this episode.
We finally beat Ashton's chapter, yay!
Yes, Ashton Chapter Finale. Oh, amazing. So we're moving up and on in this game.
Final chapter, it's coming.
Final
Getting
chapter.
ready for it. Fucking excited.
I'm buzzing for a conclusion. So, yeah.
I am very much looking forward to see you. We get to play as the bastard now. Yay!
Yay! I'm buzzing for this.
And I am very much looking forward. Thank you for having me on.
You're always welcome, darling.
And I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't let your amaze my dreams.
Thank you so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. And I will see you in the next one. Roll the outro!
Look right.
I reach out beyond the look great. No, that doesn't work.